Hello, my name is Father Ignatius Mazanowski. I'm the administrator here at St. John Vianney Church in Sedona, Arizona. And it's good to be with you on this Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday, of course, is the beginning of Lent, a day in which we enter into the season of Lent. And Lent is an opportunity. It's an invitation from God to draw closer to Him in new ways. And part of what helps us facilitate that is committing to more prayer in our lives, choosing to fast from certain things that maybe we need to get rid of in our lives, as well as almsgiving. The church also recommends and encourages us during Lent to go to confession. And here at St. John Vianney and at the Chapel of the Holy Cross, I hear confessions each week. I hear about 4 hours of confessions. And what I've noticed is that oftentimes we struggle with certain sins. And we don't seem to be able to overcome them in our lives. We get stuck in them. We get in a place where we can't seem to get out of them. And so over the next 6 or 7 weeks, I want to do a series of videos on some practical advice for overcoming sin in your life. And again, I've thought about this. I've heard it over and over again in the confessional. And so I want to look at some specific things that maybe you can get rid of in your life. And, when you think of sin, sometimes we think, in terms of abstinence. Abstinence is the idea of, I want to get this, I want to stop doing this. I don't want to do this anymore. A lot of times with abstinence, so there's also a part of us that does want to do it. I want to stop doing this, and yet I don't. I like the pleasure that I get from it in some respect. And so a lot of times when we look at sin, the first thing is abstinence. It's choosing to not do it anymore. But the real goal is freedom, to be free of it, to no longer desire it. In fact, to be repulsed by it, so much so that we don't want it in our lives anymore, and we're ready to surrender it, we're ready to get rid of it, and we're ready to live in a new way. And so this Lent, I'm going to be looking at some specific sins. I'm going to be looking at the sin of judging others, being judgmental, being critical. This is something that a lot of people struggle with. Also going to be looking at impurity. We live in a time where there's so much temptation to impurity. I'm going to look at anger and how to get anger out of our lives. I'm also going to look at one that pretty much everybody struggles with at times, which is our speech. The things we say that we shouldn't say, the things that we don't say that we should say. There's lots of ways to sin through our speech. Some struggle at times with going to Mass on Sunday. They end up bringing that to confession. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I'm also going to talk about forgiving others and what that looks like and how important forgiveness is and some practical ways you can do that. And finally, I'm also going to look at the sin of impatience. So I hope you can join us over the next few weeks during Lent. And we'll be releasing these videos on Tuesdays. And I hope you enjoy these videos. I hope you find them helpful. And may God bless you and your families during this coming Lent. May be a special time for you to draw closer to God.